Hello YouTube. Well, I got my valves in. That'd be a long story to tell. To get them keepers in using a little magnet tool and a screwdriver and grease on the valve stem to get the keepers to shove up in there. And if I had that engine on a bench, I would have flipped it upside down. See, I bet this cheap, you know where I got it at. So I bet this cheap screwdriver, that way I can get in here like this. See that? If we can get in here like this. See all the dirt that came out of there? And I'm not even done yet. Show you this side, we just did a little bit of scraping. Okay, we'll get back to work. It's only about 65 degrees out, if it's that. And I'm sitting out here in the sun. Sun is about that direction right now. So I'm facing south. So I'm getting the sun on me out here out away from the shed here just a few feet. There's the corner of the shed. So I'm out here in the sun, sunbathing and working. So we're going to enjoy this weather while we can. It's been so nasty and cold. 34 degrees last night. I'm not lying, it was. And today is Monday, which is the 13th, I think, of May. Okay, let's get to work. Enough talk. Okay, this is a stainless brush. Brass would never do it. I went all around here with it. I'm going to go right over top of that. I'm going to also take some sandpaper and kind of rough that up. But we're going to get in there and scrape all the carbon out, and then we'll use a little bit of gasoline, not a whole lot. We don't want it all over the ground, so we'll take a little bit of gas to wash it off. But there you go. There's a view of that. Then we'll bring you back when we're done. Okay, we are done. Here's the tools of the trade. A little stainless brush, nice sharp putty knife, my modified screwdriver, a toothbrush. That's good enough. Like I said, we're going to check this with a straight edge and a feeler gauge, make sure it ain't warped. And this side's clean enough. This is not a resto, this is just to clean up and get back together. So I scraped a lot of dirt out. You see how much dirt was in there. There you go. We're going to set it at the bench. Take a break. First we'll stop by and well, we don't have to do that. You know what it looks like, the valves look like they're clean, they're in there, so we don't have to show that. So yeah, we'll go off to the desk, take a little break, and do a little sanding on that. Check with a straight edge. Okay, we sanded the gasket surface with some 220 silicon carbide sandpaper, and we used some penetrating spray. So it had some oil, so it was like wet sanding. See if this will show up here. There's some scratches down in here. Can you see them? I never would have seen them, but I want to clean this good. I want to just sand this good enough to get rid of the marks from the old head gasket. Okay. And I went like several directions. I just didn't go in a straight line all the time. I might have went in an angle and but there you go. Let's have a look at the old head gasket. Always line up your gaskets before you... Here, let's check the camera up here with. There we go. We can do this. You can do this. White background kind of helps. See, this is coated with like a graphite or whatever stuff. Okay. Now this old one, if this was like an old lawnmower or something, or my mini bike when I was a kid, I would have reused it. But we have some separation here. Can you see it? Can you see the separation? Kind of rusty where it was exposed. I mean, you could have used it if you had to. I'm not going to throw it away. Exhaust. Remember, the exhaust is smaller than the intake. So here's the exhaust. You can tell where the heat's been when you flip it over. See that? How hot that's been? Compared to this side. And that's just with a wire brush. That's just with the stainless wire brush. Got stuff catching there. Just with an old wire brush there. So I thought I'd show you that. I checked the head with a straight edge. That's the best I have is just a nice ruler. When you do this, don't go across any bolt holes. You'll see lights get confused. you have to go kind of like that and miss the bolt holes and miss the gap down there. So you got to really get in there, kind of like that. And I couldn't see any light, so I went that way. And you really can't check nothing like this. I mean, you just got to check the long way, maybe the short way, maybe over here to make sure ain't no rocking or warpage. You know, but do your best to check with a straight edge. You know, that's all you can do. Yeah, there's some gouges over here. Like somebody was jamming something under there, trying to pry it off the engine one time. Yeah, I'm sure they had an intake valve put it, because it wasn't ground properly on the tip. Didn't have the taper. And like I mentioned before, I was wrong where it was sealing. It was sealed between those shiny lines, if you remember that, where I showed the intake valve. So, we're done for the day. That's it. We're going to hang these up. This is that bent, warped thing they sent me. I won't say the company name. I should. They deserve it. I'm not going to get a new one. They want me to send the old one back. I told them no, I'm not sending the old one back. I just won't buy nothing from them again. And if I do order one, I might call. Well, you can't call nobody now. Call and tell them, you better put it in a box. Don't be putting that stuff in a little bubble wrap padded mailer and it gets full. It gets full in half to get in your mailbox at the post office where we get our mail. There you go. Enough rambling. Been quite the project. Pretty stressful getting them little keepers up in there. I mean, I had grease in there and a magnet tool and a screwdriver and trying to get up there, and my tool did work good, a homemade tool. It squeezed as far as you could squeeze the valve springs. If I had to do one on a bench, I'd turn it upside down and then just drop them right in. It'd be a no-brainer. I'd just turn it upside down and drop the little keepers in there. And then when I was done, I kind of whomped out with a hammer, you know, kind of tap, 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 you know, because there is some clearance in there. I did have to grind the exhaust valve off. That thing, I lost a lot of clearance grinding that valve. I lost probably 10 thousandths clearance grinding that valve. The intake had way too much. It was like 17, so it came down to like 16. It's only supposed to be 8. If you go in the middle of the numbers, 8 and 18. There you go. That's it. Enough yak on that. We're out of here. We're done for the day.